It is October 16th of 2016, and the ASUS XG-U2008 is inside this box from Newegg. It's also available from Amazon and B&H Photo and other places. They're only just started shipping this week, so this might be one of the first in the world unboxings. So I figured why not try out 4K video. So I'm actually recording today on an iPhone 7 Plus to see how the 4K video does. Alright, here it is. A very slender box. I'm going to go ahead and mention that obviously I have a watt meter here, so I'm going to be checking out how much it uses. And I'm also going to be comparing to the considerably more expensive, but also way more capable Netgear called the XS708T. But again, really the focus is on this ASUS, which is at a whole lot better price point, $249 versus $950 or so, and two 10 gig interfaces. Now that may come in handy for things like this Xeon D, which has two 10 gig interfaces, one of which I can use here, and maybe connect another port on another similar Xeon D system over there. So I want to see if I actually get the 10,000 speed link layer lights to light up when I connect that. Proceeding with the basic unboxing, followed by some initial testing. Here we go. Okay. Quick start guide. Well, it's an unmanaged switch, so there's not a whole lot to learn other than plugging cables. Maybe it covers the cable types. I'm going to be using some monoprice Cat 6A cabling here. That's 10 gig capable and extremely thin. If I run into trouble with that, I do have some regular Cat 7 cable lying around. Alright, so basically this is telling me topologies, wiring, and what the lights, the LEDs actually mean. Moving along here, some sort of warranty notice. I don't know, if we register, maybe it extends it a little bit. And there's my serial number and so forth if I want to register for a warranty. Right, that's what we really want to see is the system. And just take a look at the power supply. Let's see what the watt reading is in the power supply in a moment here. Get the camera in nice and close. And we got 12 volts, 1.5 amps. Extremely lightweight power supply. Kind of alarming how lightweight that is. Given how low the watt burn is, it's usually not particularly dangerous to plug in a DC device like this while the device is actually juiced up by wall power. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. We'll have a look at the LEDs together. Now it's time to open up the actual unit. And there we go. Lovely finish. Many people have commented about the unique design here. And over in the front, we've got the swirling stainless off-center. Just a very unique approach to product design. Most folks, myself included, wishing there was 3, 4, 5 10 gig ports rather than just 2 though, since you can in some circumstances direct attach 2 hosts and have good luck, like I've done with Windows Server 2016, but not so much with VMware ESXi. Alright, power switch. So yeah, now we have 0 chance of arcing here because we have a separate power switch. So plug that in, you're not going to get any sparks. Now we can turn it on, have a look at the front while I turn it on, and also look at the watt burn down here. And probably not going to see much without any kind of link layer going on, but here we go. Okay, so a brief kind of power on test where all the LEDs illuminated, that's cool. And down here you're seeing all of 3 watts. So super efficient so far. So I think what I'll do is leave this little guy running and get these servers juiced up here. And pop the video forward to the point where we have some link layer going on. Now it still seems, yeah, we saw it jump, what was it, 9 watts, now back to 3. So So now it's done with whatever kind of power on sequence it has. It looks like maybe fingerprints are already showing there. Didn't quite show the stickers on the bottom and the close look at the front. So let me finish up with the physical stuff. We've got, okay, is it fake or real? A little bit of airflow at a diagonal. You're seeing some internal components on the side. No fan, important to note that. Didn't hear about that already. No LEDs now because there's no link layer on. And again, a little bit of airflow at a diagonal towards the back. Here's the ports. And power. Let's have a look at stickers on the bottom if there's anything of interest there. There is a covering to keep it clean. Alright, I think we've now had a pretty close look together here. And manufacture date of 2016 doesn't really seem to say more than that. But we can see the green printed circuit board, PCB there. You can also see some brass threaded holes there, don't know why, and rubberized feet. And I put fingerprints all over it. We'll see how that looks again. Alright, so hopefully we'll be able to see the LEDs right there, kind of in a poorly lit spot. That's good. And I'll take a moment now to set all the server gear up here. Okay, everything's set up just the way I wanted it. We've got a Xeon D and another Xeon D. You've got a management port, so I went with a black cable for 1 gig, and another management port here. The back of these motherboards are laid out very similarly. And actually, it looks like I missed a cable here. Here is the management port. And to be consistent with the other machine, let's go ahead and do that. Wire it up like this. So we've got management port, management port, management port, management port. So top left on both servers hooked up. And these are going to light up 1 gig. Now we've got ETH0 under say Linux or VMware, or the first Ethernet interface in Windows. Bottom left, 1 gig, 1 gig. Okay? And then finally 10 gig shown by blue cables. Same cables. Monoprice, Slim Run, Cat 6A, 10 gig capable cables, just a different color. But makes it easier to follow along with this video, so we should see different lights over here on the right. So I wanted you to see the power on, so what I've done is powered off the machine with its button, sorry, the switch with its button. I'll go ahead and power it on now. And we're not going to see a whole lot other than that brief flicker and then a power LED there. It's in a shadow, making it so you can see this a little better on video. Next, plugging in the servers. They're going to make quite a bit of noise at first, like most servers do, and then the fans will quiet down. At this point, I just want less light. Alright, so while the machines are powering up, once IPMI boots, or the management interface, you see some blinking going on, we should get link layer on the built-in IPMI interface on both. And actually we've got link layer going on a bunch of stuff here already. Now here's the thing. These lights are not a different color yet, and I've seen this behavior until a VIB under VMware. There's a USB flash drive right there. And it's got ESXi in that. Once the machine boots and initializes, the VIB, the driver bundle, is loaded, and now we get the 10 gig speed. But until that point, we're just going to negotiate 1 gig. So as you would expect right now, we're getting 1 gig, 1 gig, 1 gig, 1 gig, and strangely, there we go, that light just came on. Flickering activity over here on the 10 gig side on both servers. Now I just need to wait a little bit, probably do a little time-lapse fast forward to the point where VMware is actually initialized and we have the 10 gig link layer. I might want to go ahead and hook this up to my home network too, so that, well, I can show you the interface and confirm 10 gig connectivity. So to do that, I would just need one more cable over to the switch to tie into my existing DHCP infrastructure in my home here. And again, that'll give me the ability to show the management user interface for ESXi. Okay, while I set that up, again, we still have several, probably 2-3 more minutes to wait for VMware to finish booting. And I don't want to miss recording that. So I'm just going to leave the camera rolling to hopefully see these two LEDs change color at the right moment. Okay, if we look closer here, one of them is a darker blue now. So that's a good sign. For whatever reason, the other machine is still 1 gig, so it's just behind the boot process. I also point out, while we're waiting for that, SFPs like this, the cabling, you don't have to get optical. So you can buy this whole cable assembly. This happens to be a Dell part number. Affordably, pretty compact design. You got the little pull tab to release it, and at that point your wiring will look like that into an SFP port on a different switch. Whoops. So for instance, there you go, it's all locked in. So on the Netgear, that's how an SFP port would look. So a whole lot more capable. And that reminds me, on this particular system I've chosen here for this test was a poor test. Why? Because that's actually 1 gig. This machine has 6 1 gig ports. Forgot about that. It is only SFP 10 gig for the uplink. So I need to grab a different server that is more closely related to the one on the left, meaning the same exact motherboard, not a similar motherboard. So sorry about that. I got that server right behind here, and this is what it looks like. And actually, we can use the same power supply, just different watts. So now we have a machine that's more identical. We've got management and then 4 ports here. So just simply move everything over, and we'll finish up this test. Okay, we got the SYS-5028D-TN4T on the left. We got the SYS-E200-8D on the right. Similar motherboards, identical layout as far as port configuration, and it's booting VMware right now. We've got 10 gig negotiated on the left because the machine's fully booted. We have this one which I only recently powered on and put in place, and it's still coming up because it's still showing 1 gig in the color. So any moment now, okay, the light turned off, watching that carefully. Let's make that even more obvious. We'll let the LEDs off. Sorry, ambient light lower. Now we can see the LEDs even easier. I hope. There, a nice dark blue. So that worked out pretty well. Let's see if I can get that front bezel in the shadow to make it show a little better. A little better. All right, what we can't see all that well is the color of the LEDs on the motherboard. So we just move up to the second 10 gig interface here. So the colors are more apparent and there's no connector in the way at all. So now you're seeing the behavior of the link layers. We move cables around. It's taking a little while. Watch that light. Dark blue. Off again. On again to 1 gig. And then jumps over to 10 gig. So interesting behavior. Kind of see the driver and chipset and everything in action interacting with one another. And a little lower Wapern with a lesser system there with 6 cores on the right and 8 cores on the left. And far less drive bays and so forth, and less storage attached. Okay, so these machines are now at idle. I've got an uplink cable here to my home network. So my next camera shot can head over to 1080p land, 1920 1080 Camtasia desktop recording, jumping away from this 4K video. I'll be gluing it all together with Camtasia version 9 just released, my first 4K video edit. Hopefully it looks decent on YouTube for you. So now we're looking at the host client. This is the HTML5 interface. So pointed to the IP address of the ESXi server. This is the UI for ESXi 6.0 update 2. And the summary screen is not what we want. That shows us the machine and so forth. I want to go to networking. And there it is. Physical NICs page or tab 1000 and 10,000. So that's good. There's our link speed, and it even tells us what driver. Of course, one of them has linked down because we left it disconnected. Now, if you look at actions, you can only change the speed. That's it. No half duplex settings or anything in there. Okay, so that's enough for that. Here's the other host, the smaller box. And again, can head over to networking, physical NICs, 10,000. So that looks good. What else do we have? We have the vSphere web client. These yellow bangs are because I was messing around with vSAN and it didn't clean up. And my Synology NAS is offline right now, so I don't have host logging working. That's okay. Let's ignore the yellow bangs and focus on manage, networking, physical adapters page. And there it is, 10,000 auto. How about the settings from that user interface? This is the web client again, pointing to the VCSA appliance. Same settings. You can only bring the speed down if you really want to. Finally, more like the UI of the future would be this one. vSphere client, simply. It's the HTML5 interface for managing vSphere as we head to the future of their product line. So we're on the summary screen, seeing the CPUs and all that stuff. Let's go to configure, physical adapters, speeds. Nice amount of detail here. Talks a little bit about PCI bus location. All right, and it even shows you the driver family, X552, X557, 10G base T. Did meet my primary objective here, which was to give you a peek at whether my network is set up correctly, and the answer appears to be yes, 10,000. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and thank you for visiting tinkertry.com.